All right, it says I'm live. I hope I have everything set up right. I was trying to grab a few images so I can show you some things so I can overlay. We'll play with my CGI program a little bit, and I'll show you a few things why circles, to follow a circle, you only need one axis of rotation. This is simple. And I want to explain things about how you can track the stars with, and this is not even disputed. The part that's disputed is crazy, you guys. That people aren't thinking about this. They're confused in their heads. Listen. The telescope mount, an equatorial telescope mount with one axis of rotation on it, can follow any circle. It doesn't matter what the surface of the ground is. It has nothing to do with the surface of the ground. The stars in the sky go in a circle. They start at the North Pole and they go out from there anywhere you are in the world. And yes, if you're in the South Pole, they're going the opposite direction because you have to turn around to look at them. Like if you're at the equator, they're going to be on the horizon. And actually, you know what? I'm going to show you this. I'll do this. I'm just doing this on the fly. So it's not like I totally planned this out. But I want to talk about one thing first. Why is this even important? Why does it even matter if an equatorial mount works on flat Earth, or if there's a flat Earth or a globe? Why does that even matter? And I'm going to tell you why it matters. Because the people that have seen flat Earth, they know that they see the truth. And the world looks at them as crazy. But what they're trying to do is open the eyes of the world to the deception that Satan is carrying out. That's why it's important. Because there's a trap that's been laid, and we happen to be that generation of people that is born into the world that was written about, that would be apostate, and they would be confused about everything. And so I have to share a verse or two verses from Enoch and then a couple verses from Isaiah before I start, really. Because the people that oppose this truth, and I'm talking about what the Bible says about this earth and the heavens, what the stars are, what the planets are, all those things are very important to understand. And it's been prophesied by prophets way back to Enoch. And so here's what Enoch says in chapter 80, verse 7. And the whole order of the stars. So that's exactly what we're talking about, guys. Specifically, literally, what the debate is about. The stars. And, okay, I'll start the verse over. And the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners. And we know what sinners means. That means bad people, right? Something's going to be concealed from them, and it is the order of the stars. And it says, and the thoughts of those on the earth shall err concerning them, and they shall be altered from all their ways. Yea, they shall err and take them to be gods. And evil shall be multiplied upon them, and punishment shall come upon them so as to destroy all. You guys, we live in a time that if I was going to describe it with a simple word, I would almost call it unfair. Unfair, because the world we all woke up and we were in a crib or in a, we came out of our mother, and we were in a world, and here we are, right? We're experiencing it every day. All our lives we've been in this world, and we don't necessarily know everything about it, but the time that we've been born into has been written about since as long ago as we have writing, like books. They talked about a specific time when men would be deceived about what heaven is, what the stars are, where God is. Oh, there we go. That's a video that I'm maybe going to play. That was just a video getting done. If you guys heard that. I don't know if you heard that or not. So I don't mean to talk about this forever, but it's such a important thing. It's very important. In Isaiah 14, it says what Lucifer has in his heart to do. And it says, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north." What's the space station up there for, guys? That darkness up there is not a good place. Not at all. That's where Lucifer wants us to go. It says right here in the next verse, it says, this is the prophet Isaiah that wrote this. It says, "I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." And then guess what it says? I'm waiting for my computer. It says, "But you shall be brought down to Sheol, to the lowest depths of the pit." And let me explain what's scary about that. Is the lowest depths of the pit of hell is not a place where the flesh and bones that we're made of goes. It's a spiritual place. I've read about it in many books that these prophets wrote. They were shown this place. And they always went up to see it. And I just have to be honest, I don't quite understand how it all happens. But Isaiah also wrote, this is just 6 verses before this, he wrote that hell, basically he wrote that when Jesus is returning, there it is, 14 verse 9, he wrote, I'll just read it. I'll read the, English Standard Version? Because the King James Version is, I'll read that too, but English Standard Version says, Sheol beneath is stirred up to meet you when you come. Where's Jesus coming from, guys? Remember Acts 1, it says he's going to be coming in this like manner of how he went up. And they watched him ascend in, and a cloud took him out, received him or whatever. He went up into the clouds. That's how he's coming back. And it says in here, Sheol beneath is stirred up to meet you when you come. It rouses the shades to greet you, all who are leaders of the earth. It raises from their thrones all who are kings of the nations. And the kings of the nations are basically the fallen angels. King James Bible says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. At the end, actually, I got to go one more verse, and then we'll get back to the thing. One more verse. Isaiah chapter 5, I think it's verse 14. Sorry, I'm just waiting for my computer. I could be showing it to you, but... Okay. Whoops. I will, actually. Since I'm waiting for my computer, you can wait with me. I don't know what's going on. It just stopped or something. We'll try. Oh, something's going on. Let's see if that'll do anything. There we go. Therefore hell hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure. Sounds like outer space, doesn't it? So, yeah. Okay. Back to, let's talk about, so that's why it's important, because we've all been born into a deception. We've been born into it. That's why I say it's unfair. But now, there's light in the world. And what I mean is, we don't live in a universe of darkness. And actually, that's another thing. Jesus said that this is the condemnation, that men love darkness rather than light, and because their deeds were evil. So, and I've learned that the reason why they're evil is because God lives in the sky, and He says this probably 100 times in scriptures. His temple's in the sky, His sanctuary's in the sky, His tabernacle's in the sky. Men do not belong in the sky. And what I mean by in the sky is out of the air. You guys can, thank you, Davey313. You guys can hide whoever. A lot of times there's opposition that seems to really not like to hear the words of the Bible. But I think if you have a father of lies, it probably stings. To hear these words. You don't want to hear them. So I hope you can hear them, though. I mean, that's the only reason why anybody's talking about the earth being flat, is to get people to see the truth. Which is, what is the truth? What is the way, the truth, and the life? Who breathes all life? Who breathes into our lungs and so that we become actual living beings? Jesus. Everything was made by Him, and He opened my eyes, and it was a miracle. That's all I can say. So, what should I play in the background here? Well, I might as well play this verse about a flying roll. This is another prophet.
And lifted up mine eyes and looked. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it. And every one that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts. And it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name.
Did you guys catch that? The angel asked him what he saw, and he said, I see a flying roll. And he gave a size. And then the angel said, This is the curse that goes forth over the face of the whole earth. And then let me play that last part of the verse again. So this is the curse, a flying roll, you guys. How many flying rolls do you know about? Just think about it. We're in a time, let me say this too. We're in a time where secrets and mysteries are being revealed. And I'm talking about things that have been hidden since the foundation of the world. They've never been uttered in this world, some of these things. And it's not because of us. It's because of Jesus sending the Spirit of truth into this world to show us the truth and guide us into it. And so all the opposition of this truth, I'm not trying to judge anyone. I'm just saying from my point of view, I see all the opposition to this truth to be the very ones that Paul talked about in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 when he said they wouldn't receive the love of the truth and they'd be damned. So that's why it's important, guys. And, you know, I think that I look at this as like drop some water down on, you know, like from a couple feet up down on the ground, and it kind of just splashes in every direction or whatever. It's almost like the words that Jesus said are kind of like that. And everyone gets kind of splashed on, but only some of them, and I don't know how that works, but only the ones that believe, I guess, get the water somehow. You can't see this truth if you don't, if he doesn't open your eyes. So let's see. Okay, equatorial telescope. Let me, I'll play the rest of this, and then I'll grab a video while I'm doing that.
This side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name.
Okay, I have recently had, I'm just going to mute this. I just wanted to show Red's, I wanted to show his animation and explain how it's no different than a flat earth. He shows a telescope on a globe at the North Pole pointing up towards the center of rotation. See, he says the center of the Earth's, or the axis of the Earth's rotation. This has nothing to do with Earth. This has nothing to do with the Earth. This is the sky. It's above us. No matter where you are on the Earth, it's above you. So if you're thinking you're on a spinning ball and that everyone's upside down from each other, realize that that's just in your mind. There's no way that you've ever seen that other than a cartoon, or even if you saw it, like you saw the pictures from Apollo. I wouldn't trust those pictures. They were taken in outer darkness. They were taken in the place where all the evil spirits that have ever been are awaiting judgment. That's the place where those pictures come from. And you think that the Earth is a globe because of those pictures? Be careful. I mean, yeah, be careful. Notice every time you see an animation that it's not real also. I'm just trying to get to Red's, because what he says here, I mean, Red's is trying to make sense of things too, and I'm not saying he's dumb. I'm saying he's wrong. So I should probably explain his video. You know what? We're going to go to YouTube and watch a video on Fight the Flat Earth channel. Let me see here. Let me do this first. Okay, I'm going to go, yeah, hopefully this works. It should work. We'll put that up there. And we'll go to YouTube. Because as I was making this video over the last day or 2 days or whatever, just yesterday, Reds and Fight the Flat Earth put a video out about this. And I was like, oh, that's interesting timing. Because we were just talking about it on Fight the Flat Earth on Craig's channel. Let's see here. Come over to YouTube with Joe. There we are. Let's go to FTFE. That should get us there. Okay, this video right here. I'm gonna just pause it a few times during the video, but this is a good video. We should watch it, and I'll be able to explain exactly what Reds is making a horrible assumption about. Let's see. I'm not going to go full screen because it'll... Let's see here. Looks like we're going to have to deal with some ads for a minute. So what I want to point out is that Reds is going to show us a clip, like a video clip from Astronomy Live of his telescope tracking the sky from the ground on, let's see, where was that? Oh, here it was. It was at the beginning, right away at the beginning. Okay.
Seeing is from Astronomy Live, filmed on June 29th, 2014. It's a time-lapse showing his telescope tracking the sky while the camera attached takes multiple images. After the images were captured, they were stacked to render the final image you are now seeing on your screen. While this image is indeed beautiful, it points to something else that is also beautiful: the fact that the image could be captured at all. Notice how the telescope only had to rotate one axis to
one axis. So in his video, he's showing us a video of a telescope doing exactly what I do with my telescope, my equatorial mount. Keep that in mind. We're doing the exact same observation. There is no difference in the observation we're making. He's pointing his telescope at the sky anywhere he wants to. And the base of his scope, the equatorial mount, I'm going to skip to right here because it looks like maybe this will be an image of it. Okay, do you see what this says here? To celestial pole, which is the North Pole, or if you can't see the North Pole, you're going to have to point it south to the center of the rotation. You know, you could put, let me think of an example. You could put a car up on a jack stand and spin the tires, like put it in drive, slow motion, and you could tip your telescope base, your polar axis would be pointed at the center of that tire, and you can track anything on that tire. So it has nothing to do with the ground. What happens is the sky, it circles around a polar center, and it happens to be right by the North Pole star Polaris. And if you want to see that, and you want to track anything else in the sky, this is all you have to do. So let me show you a video. Let me see if I can just play it. Well, it's actually in this video, or in my video, sorry. We're going to go back to mine really quick. So what I'm pointing out here is that Red's video of Astronomy Live and what I do with my scope is the exact same thing. We're using just one motor, one axis, just one. You're not using both axes on the telescope, just one. So just basically the base is just turning in a circle. So you point that at the center of any circle, and you'll be able to track any point on that circle accurately, whether it's a star in the sky or whether it's the tire stem on the tire, or the whatever it's called, the where you fill it up with air. What I'm saying is a circle is a circle is a circle. It makes no difference whether you're going to use the sky. And then people say, well, they don't work in the south. Yeah, they do. You simply, and actually Red shows us that in his animation in my video. So we'll go back over to my video. Sorry. He shows it in an animation during when he was talking, and I just want to show it to you because it's the same on a flatter. Okay, I went a little too far. Okay, see how he's got it at the top of the globe there? That's his telescope. And see how the mount is pointed at the North Star? Because he's on the globe, you'd be at the North Pole. Okay. On a flat Earth, you'd be at the North Pole. No difference, right? Now, as he moves down to we'll stop in Minnesota, or about in Minnesota, and I'll show you. I'm at about 45 degrees. Okay, so boom, there. We're in Minnesota right now, or about. So notice that the mount on the scope is set at 45 degrees. And there's still only one axis of rotation, because all the stars, they have a center of rotation in the south and in the north. And they'll want to say, that doesn't work on a flat Earth model. Well, it does work on the flat Earth model. It's just that there's no flat Earth model. There's no globe Earth model either, as I also explained in this video. So let's go down to the equator. Okay, now we're at the equator, and you got to turn your telescope around. If I was a person on a globe and I thought the flat Earth was so ridiculous, I'd go derp, derp, derp. Because this is ridiculous, simple stuff, guys. You don't have to have a curved surface to look at the stars in the sky. You don't have to have a flat surface to look at the stars. You can look at them from a jet. You could set an equatorial mount up on the wing of a jet and fly it wherever you want. And as long as that, the base of it, that equatorial mount is pointed at the center of rotation of something that you want to follow, it's called a circle. A circle has, it's like a 2D shape, and it has a center. And from the center to the edge of the circle is equal to, at every point from the center, equal the radius, it's called. The length of the radius is always the same on a circle. That's why it's called a circle. So if we are, let me go continue on here a little bit. So then he goes down and says you can do the same thing in the south, which is true. But he's thinking that, actually, let's listen to how Red words it, because I want to point out he's not thinking about this the same way as I am. We'll just listen to it for a minute, and I'll have to probably skip around to find it. But he says that an equatorial mount, it points, or it has a, you'll see what I mean. Debate there.
Okay. So basically, the globe proof is going to be what it was last time. I'm going to start with an equatorial telescope mount. Okay, if you are trying to get long exposure shots of, nebulae or the stars or whatever, you want to use an equatorial mount. An equatorial mount is great because it corrects for field rotation by only having to rotate one axis. However, in order for that to work, you need to align that axis with the axis of the Earth. And
that's where he's wrong. Has nothing to do with the Earth. If he believes it happens to be the axis of the Earth, that's fine, because that's what, on a globe, it would be the axis of the Earth. But this is why he thinks that it doesn't work from Florida. So I put in my video, Nathan Thompson is in Florida right now, and he took a time lapse with Polaris in the center, the center of rotation, and it looks like there's circles. This is what it looks like anywhere you can see Polaris from. So then if you can't see Polaris, what do? You turn around, and you actually, did you know that any tracking telescope, I have two of them. I have two equatorial mounts. One of them I made, one of them I bought. And do you know what they have? One of the main features of the equatorial mount is southern or northern. Where are you pointing it? Are you pointing it to the south, or are you pointing it to the north? And in the remote that I have in both of mine, the remote has a physical screw in the back that you have to take out and put it for the right north or south, or it will turn the wrong way. So you have to either turn it clockwise or counterclockwise. And this is because, picture yourself under a, well, let's see, it's a bad example to try to use something physical to explain the stars in the sky. like a merry-go-round or something like that, it won't work that way. What it is that anywhere you are on Earth, where we all live, if you look at the North Star, if you were to stand at the equator and you could see the whole world, you'd see if you went from the North Star and you followed it all the way down south, like if it's going to go down on the horizon till you get to the equator, and then it's not going to be visible anymore. So it would be best to turn your telescope around and turn it the other way, because now you've turned around. In Red's animation, he had to turn his telescope around at the equator, right? That's how it would work on a flat Earth too. You'd have to turn it around, and you'd have to find the center of rotation of all those stars that are spinning around that North Star. They continue on all the way down through the south. And it's, let's listen.
Guess what? The angle at which you need to align that axis is dependent on how far north you are or how far south you are.
Yes, and I thought he makes in his new video, which I just wanted to show you that one clip from it. But this new video, he says that he plotted, points north to south, and somehow he's not sure where Polaris is because he's getting a different angle or something. Reds, this is easy. Anything in the sky that you're moving away from, it will appear to go down towards the horizon. If it's moving away from you, it will appear to go down towards the horizon. The sun, an airplane, a Tweety bird, whatever. If it's going away from you, that's how our eyes work. And I put in this video about a bowling alley. You don't think about it very often, but when something's on the ground and it's going away from you, it's going up towards the horizon. Everything kind of meets at the horizon. When we look down a long hallway or something, the floor goes up, the ceiling goes down. It appears that way. So I'm at 45, he's just talking about latitude. I'm at 45 degrees. So that means that Polaris is 45 degrees above the horizon. That's all it means. It doesn't say anything about a radius of the Earth. He's trying to prove the radius of the Earth by looking at Polaris and taking those angles. No, you're moving away from Polaris as you go south. Of course it's going to go down, appear to go down, and eventually go right into the horizon, just like anything. The ISS, when it flies over, if you have a good timing so that the sun's hitting it for a long time, and say you can see it almost from horizon to horizon, how long does that take? I would think about 8 minutes. Not quite 8 minutes, I don't think. Anyway, how long does that take to go from horizon to horizon? And you're going to tell me that you're seeing the sun 93 million miles away? No. It's just something in the sky that is going past your vision, past how we can't see that far. Let's listen to a little bit more of this.
If you were to go all the way to the North Pole, you would have to stand the equatorial telescope mount's axis straight up. In order for it to work at the equator, you would have to lay it side to side so that the axis is running along the ground.
Exactly. He's perfectly correct. If you're at the equator and you look north, the Polaris is going to be right on the ground. It's going to be right on the horizon. So all the stars are going to be going in a circle. No matter where you are, they go in a circle around Polaris. So this is why an equatorial mount actually works very nice and is the most simple way to track things in the sky. And even in my video, I included a link to a video of me tracking the moon with my EQ mount. So I think why Reds would say that it doesn't work on flat Earth is because he's not making observations the right way. And he's assuming that only these observations that we all make can be made on a globe. So, and that's where we get into the rotation and all of that. That makes no sense to say that the Earth's not stationary. Every single one of the people that are here right now listening, and everyone that ever listens to this, observes daily a stationary Earth and perceives it 100%. There is no other perception of... So here's what Reds bases his globe Earth belief on, as far as I can tell, is that pendulums seem to turn when you drop them. They don't keep going in the straight exact same line forever. They wander. That's reason one. Reason two is that you can weigh something at the North Pole and it weighs a micro change amount at the equator. And a ring laser gyroscope that you can put light into and have it bounce off of mirrors and time the two lights inside against each other and pick up that instrument picks up a 15-degree drift. That's why Red thinks the Earth beneath your feet right now is rotating. And I'm just using Reds for an example because that's what the video is about. I just know this. The Earth is stationary. And it's really hard to argue with that, isn't it? And then, I showed someone, I'll just say, image. I'll show you which image. I was playing it at the beginning of this stream. Whoops. Let's see here. It's just the star trails. And I think this is a good way to point out what the truth is and what a lie is. On your screen right now, is there anything moving? Or is it all just stationary? It's moving, right? Let's all admit, they're moving. The stars are going in a counterclockwise circle around a center point, aren't they? So, if you were to answer honestly, would you say that the stars are moving in this image? And this person would not admit that there's anything in this image moving. That's not anything moving in this image. They said that's the Earth spinning. And I said that's not even a picture of the Earth. That's a picture of the stars. And they're moving in the picture. No, that's the Earth turning. Earth rotating. That's called brainwashed. That's what it's called. And you know what it's really called? Unclean spirits. Cast them out. That's what it is. It's exactly what Enoch said. Like, the stars are... Well, who's been talking about Mars lately? NASA and SpaceX, and everybody's been talking about moving to Mars. Moving to Mars. Have you ever looked at Mars? Have you ever looked out up at the sky and looked at Mars? Mars is a teeny little dot of light. And even if it was a place, because it's not, it's an evil spirit. It's a deceiving spirit. That's what Mars is. And it can take whatever form it wants. So it takes that form. It says this in Enoch. It takes those forms to defile mankind and lead them astray. That's why I say that the globe is a trap and the globe is the bait. And we were born in that trap. Jump out. Yeah, Effie Vikings, right on. He says reverse engineering natural phenomenon. to fit presupposed heliocentric model is all the proof required to believe lies. And I can give an example in this Red's rhetoric situation. First, he shows us Astronomy Live's telescope on an equatorial mount with one axis, tracking the stars in the sky with a motor. So I'll bet you if I went up and kicked that telescope, Reds would be like, "What are you doing? Don't move the telescope. It can't be moved." Like, if you touched the telescope, it would ruin the whole picture. The telescope's not moving, Reds. Why would you argue that the telescope's moving? Because you pretend you're living in the sky? I don't get it. This is what I said in the debate. I don't understand. We live on Earth, and one of the most obvious things about where we live is that it's a solid ground and it never moves. It's completely stationary. And so that's the obvious thing. So then Red thinks he can prove that it's moving by bouncing light around in a device used in jets or I'm not saying it's not an accurate device to use for positioning, but to set it in one spot and think that you're measuring the ground moving is just an idea you have, because it's not moving. Hasn't moved. But yeah, reverse engineering. So he shows us a moving telescope to track the moving sky, and then he wants to say in the same sentence that it's not the sky moving, it's the Earth turning. And then he says, well, it could be the Earth turning and the sky not turning. And I said, yeah, it could be. But where do you live? And what do we observe? We live on Earth, and we observe the sky turning. We observe setting the telescope up very carefully on a nice concrete pad so it doesn't move. That's what we observe. The telescope not moving every time, unless we turn it with motors. So this image you're seeing right now, the moving image, that took like 2.5 hours or something. And during those 2.5 hours, my camera did not move at all. It would have ruined the image if it moved. I can show you some images that got ruined by it being bumped. If I can, let me see. I don't know if I have any that'll play in this format. I'm sure I do. I don't know. I think you guys get what I'm saying, though. So, like taking the angle of Polaris, or taking the angle of a star, and saying that proves something about the ground. That's circular thinking, like F.E. Viking was saying. That's presupposing that you're on a curved ball and thinking that you're not just theorizing. No, it's a fact. Okay, well, like he said, his standards, he has high standards and the Bible doesn't meet them. Well, you've got a different kind of standards, and I wish that would change, Reds. Deb Woods, yes, it's unclean spirits. Cast them out in Jesus' name. And it's not a joke. They torment people. And you know what? They're so tricky that the people don't think they're being tormented. They think they're just right. I mean, yeah. I feel like playing some videos. I'm going to see what I got, if I got something good. Oh, that video that I just made. I'll show it to you. And it's only 3 minutes long, and there's no audio at all. It's just images kind of flashing on the screen. And I'll just tell you what the video is about. I'm just going to make it a quick video, but since I have it here, I'll just play it in the background. So I've spent a very good amount of my life, a good percentage of my life, building stairways and building railings. And so this is a bunch of pictures of railings I've built and columns and posts and lots of this. This is what I've done for my whole career. And surrounding types of work. Any kind of woodworking, really. But I've built a lot of railings, and I mean a lot. A lot. Like, I don't even want to build another railing the rest of my life. But I probably will. But I've built enough railings. Did I mention that I built a lot of railings? The reason why I say that is because if you were building something on the ocean, what would be the best way to make sure that your railings are nice and level and straight? There's one way. You can use a level, or you can use a laser or something. Lasers are great. You can use all that type of equipment, but there's a natural level that works that's even more accurate, and that would be the ocean. If you're by a body of water, and you'll see in the images coming up. If you're by a body of water, you build a railing to match with the body of water, which is a perfectly straight line. I don't know if people ever think about this. Sometimes if you go to a park or a beach, they got a railing running along the whole beach. Go up to that railing and stick your head down by it and look down that railing. You'll notice it's not curving, because the guy building it would be really bummed out if it was curving. Okay, here's some images that I took off the internet just to show you what I'm talking about. You can't have a curved railing. You can't have a... Do you get what I'm saying? We build railings straight and level. Otherwise, you're not building it right. You don't build it with a curve. That's half of my job. Is I would sit and go to one end of it and straight line it with your eye. Straight line it by sight. There's no better way to do it than that. You could do it with measurements, but the measurements would never be accurate, because the ground that whatever you're building the railing on is never it's never perfect. But the top of the railing has to be perfect. So whatever the bottom does, you just have to compensate for that as you're building it. But if you look down a railing like that, you'll notice it's straight. When the city builds railings, when the government builds railings, they build them the same way. You build them to match with the ocean. So that's why I'm making this video. So who knows, maybe I'll just take this clip that I just said right here and just make a video of it. But I think it's obvious, to a carpenter anyway, that the ocean has a straight, flat line that doesn't have a curve. It doesn't have this curve. This curve doesn't exist. So that's what I gotta say. Let's see. I think, yeah, it's replaying now. So yeah, let me show you that one. That one was cool. That one was a hard job. This I did. Let's see here. I could go through all these and I could tell you where they all were and everything. Okay, this one right here. This was hard. That's oak. That's red oak. So I had to make, and it had to be the right shape and everything. But it did 180 degrees. So it basically turned all the way around, and there's only 8 inches in between itself. When, you know what I'm saying? So that's a pretty tight turn. So that was fun. And I think, yeah, that's when it was all done. Tricky. There's a job I did for my uncle. There's a basement. I don't remember that one. That's for my friend Adam. That's his house, and he sold that house already. I think he did. I don't remember all these. That's a friend of mine who I worked for many, many years. And there's a curved stairway. That one was cool too. But yeah, building stairways is tedious. There's a lot of parts and everything's got to be just right, because it's got to be solid. And I did that at my aunt and uncle's house. That was a lot of railing there. And I make all the posts too. In most of these images I make, not these posts, but decks, There's my dad's neighbors. Lots of railings. Lots and lots. I'd be happy if I never looked at a railing again in my life. Because it's a lot of work. But let's see here. You know what I could do? Just for fun, since we're talking about railings, I'm going to go to my Flickr account and we can look at some images just for fun. You guys can see that, right? So here's my Flickr page. It's called Skilled Woodworking. And my computer doesn't want to scroll yet. Which means I'm probably pushing it. Okay, there we go. Lots of mantles, lots of curved pieces of wood, like custom for people. Lots of cabinets. I'm just going to scroll through them. You guys can go to this site. What I'll do is I'll put a link in the chat right now if you guys want to check it out. I got, I think, like 10 pages of images there. There's some repeats in there, but they're all pretty old too. I haven't put anything on there for a while, but they're interesting stuff. You get to see some of the stuff I've spent my whole life doing. There's the link in the chat there. There's my friend's kitchen. We custom built that and designed it and everything. His name's Adam. He's right there. And we did his whole house, actually. He built his whole house. It was a big house, too. Really nice house. Lots of cabinets. Lots of planning, and there's the outside in the front. And that wasn't done yet. These posts got stone and everything. It was really nice. I built all his cabinets. There's some more porch columns and railings, mantles. More railings. This is a kind of a special one right here. This picture of this entertainment center here. What it used to be is they used to have one of those big TVs, you know, and so you can kind of tell by the color because we made it a little bit lighter of a color so that when it got because it'll yellow up. So and it matches now, but this was the house of a nurse that. Back in 2011, I almost died, and I was in the hospital, and she was the nurse that took care of me, and she was really nice. Here, this is probably one of my favorite mantles right here. I'll see if we can get a better look at it. This was in, I don't remember where it was. Pretty cool, though. I don't know, I just like, that was quarter sawn white oak. Pretty cool. Oops. Oh, there we go. Oh, it brought us all the way back to the top. Let's see. That's where we were. This is a cool stairway that someone custom built. I did, kind of trimmed it out for him. But look at that. That's pretty cool. It was like a curved deal. Oh, there's the old shop before it burned down, the inside. Yeah, isn't that a cool stairway there? There's that same mantle. Did a lot of porches, a lot of fireplace stuff, a lot of columns, a lot of cabinets. Actually, this cabinet right here, this was the last cabinet I built before I got sick and had to go in the hospital. I'm allergic to amoxicillin, I guess, and this is how I found out by taking it for a sinus infection or something. And every time I look at this cabinet, I'm like, it gives me the creeps because it was basically while I was building this cabinet. And let's see. Oops. Oh, brought me all the way back up again. It was that cabinet and then another job in that I remember in Champlin that me and my brother and my buddy Bill were working on, which is this job right here. Yeah, those two jobs give me the creeps. Just because it brings me back to that time. Ugh. Don't take amoxicillin if you're allergic to it. Not good. Don't do it. Oh, here's a basement. We did some custom cabinets with some... look at this mantle. This fireplace was cool. Oops. I don't know why it went there. That's a little bar cabinet. But this entertainment center was cool right here. On the right side here, see that you can see a seam, and you can kind of see how that's a little bit different inside of there. You can slide that right to the left, and there's the electric panel. And the mantle we did out of bird's eye maple. And the mantle legs, they open, and there's DVD storage in there. Pretty cool. We had to custom do it around that soffit and everything. Pretty neat. I forgot about that. I forget about all these till I go and look at them. Then I'm like, wow, that's a lot of work. Let's see. A lot more mantles. A couple cabinets. This little, I don't remember exactly what. I think it was for a dead cat's ashes or something like that. This box, Zoe. So people were commenting, oh, Zoe's so lucky. I'm like, no, Zoe ain't that lucky. But that was for my friend Adam. Or for one of his friends or something. Did a kiosk for cell phones. That was a while ago. Oh, there we go. There's a curved stairway. That was cool. Oh, I like this cabinet right here. It's like a entry mudroom type cabinet. Or boot bench or whatever you call it. That's pretty cool. It keeps bringing us up to the top. Oh yeah, this was a cool one. I had to take... This was what it looked like when I got there. The top of the door there. And this is what I had to work with. That was it. It was so rotten. I like to get it off the house to try to copy it. And so I'll show you these pictures. It was pretty cool. Whoops. Let's see. I think I have to go back a page. Me and my dad kind of putzed on that together. Whoops. But we made it so it won't rot the next time. So we remade it out of cedar, and then we made that nice galvanized cover for it so that it won't sit and be wet all the time. But it turned out pretty cool. That was like an old house in Minneapolis. Back to photo stream. I'm just... We made that on the lathe, cut it in half. You can see us spinning it. We just made a lathe real quick. Like just with a bearing or whatever and a motor. So, let's see. There's me working on a railing. What do you know? There's a kitchen remodel. This was when we got there, and then this is when we left. Pretty cool. That was at another friend's house. Lots of fireplaces. This is that same project. There's more pictures of it. We did a bunch of stuff there, I think. There's a cool entertainment center. Oh, here's a cool basement. My brother built all these cabinets. All these maple ones. This is a cool cabinet. I think that's just neat. Davey313 asks, what kind of woods are you using? Any kind, like every kind. These steps right here, these are bamboo. And that's oak. Let's see. This railing is oak. This is all oak. This chair I made is mahogany. This cabinet here I made has it. This is called wangi. I don't know if you can see it very good. That dark colored wood. And then there's maple. See, I make nice drawers for it too, with the little brass pin in the corner to hold them together. I'll show you guys that. I made a few of these little desks and I gave them away pretty much. I'll show you what I mean. They're pretty cool though. I think I have pictures of them in here. This is actually just the drawers of one of them. They had 3 drawers on each side. There's a cigar humidor made out of bloodwood. Oh yeah, these desks right here, these little, they look like this. They're pretty cool. But I have to, that's not the right one. That was, I forgot what kind of wood that was. That reddish color. What was that? Oh, look at this. This is a humidor I made. Bacodi, maple, and mahogany. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a rose I made for someone's wedding. That's cool. We'll look at that. Bloodwood and poplar. There's no stain on that at all. That's the natural color of the wood. I thought I clicked on it, but maybe I didn't. I better click on it again. Yeah, I must not have. Look at that. Natural color of the wood. And so I would put it in the grain in different directions. See, like this piece right here. I hope you guys can see my screen okay. But yeah, and you burn the edges of them a little bit, and you get some shading, kind of. I made a cool image of a rose and inlaid it. We'll find it here. Let's see. There it is, right there. This is cool. Look how cool that is. And it's inlaid into the wood. Neato. That's probably one of the coolest things I made, like that kind of thing anyway. And then we got, oh, it keeps bringing us up all the way to the top. Oh, this is the one I wanted to show you. This little desk. I gave this to my aunt and uncle. But isn't that one cool? That's all walnut. Isn't that neat? I matched the drawer fronts, the grain match. I made a little stool for it. So it has 6 drawers. Pretty cool though. And if I remember right, this top piece, the actual top of it, was made from a desk that was my grandma's. But it was bigger, and so I cut the top of it, I cut it down and used it on top of this. So that was pretty cool. It was my grandma and grandpa's, if I remember right. Pretty neat. Walnut's really fun to work with. Let's see what else we got. I'm having fun here. I haven't looked at these forever. Oh, this is a kiosk I made for Mall of America, or what was it? Not Mall of America. It was for the Water Park of America or whatever. It was, I can't remember what it's called. Water Park of America, I think. It's right down by Mall of America. It's like the one that has slides going outside. You can see them from the freeway. It's like big tubes sticking outside of it. Oh yeah, here's 2 more of those desks. Those are so cool. I like those things. Made, what are those things called? Shadow box. A booth. A table for Grand Design Marketplace. Oh, this is some cabinets I built. A library I built in my neighbor's house, like down the road. I didn't ever get good pictures of it, really. I should have, but it's all quarter sawn red oak. Beautiful. And last page. I don't even think we saw the first few pages, though. I think we started like on the 4th or 5th page. A bunch of mantles, fireplace mantles. That's it. I think we started like on the 4th or 5th page, though. Let's just see what else we got. Oh, we got e-cig stores. A big e-cig store bar or whatever. I built a bunch of stuff for e-cigarette stores. We got bird's eye maple. This is one of my favorite kinds of wood. Isn't that pretty? Whoops. So we got... Oh, this is what happens when you put a drip of water, or you wipe some water on the side of a piece of maple. Pretty cool. Oh, I think there's a video somewhere on here of me kind of working on a floor inlay. This is a basement that I did a few years back, quite a few years back. More porch stuff, a kitchen, and some remodeling or whatever. There's that same kitchen again. That was for a cider that I used to work on jobs with. There's more e-cigarette displays. Oh, there's a e-cigarette, what do you call it, a point of sale or whatever. That one was pretty cool. That was a lot of work. Yeah, this right here. We'll look at this. This was cool. Had a lot of work. And it was almost done. It's so crazy because they would pay me this money to build this stuff, and then it would be like it seemed like 3 months later, he'd be like, I want to do something different now. Like, man, how can you afford to do that? Like, they would just keep ordering stuff, new stuff. I want new this. I want to change this. Okay. And let's see. I think we got to be to the bottom. Oh, we were at the bottom of that page. I think we're about done. There's Adam's house. Oh, there's the old shop that burnt down. And it used to look like that. And then I took one summer, I made it look like that. And then we burned it down. Or it burned down. Ooh, you might like this. This is a big job I did for some good friends that I used to work for a long time. Let's turn the sound off. Whoops. I guess I can't. Weird. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we basically made their deck into a waterproof area, and we wrapped all those posts with LP and everything. And he actually built most of the railings, I think, on this job. I think I helped a little bit, but not very much. So then you could go in underneath the deck, and it was waterproof under there because we put like slanted tin on the ceiling, like pole barn tin or whatever. So the water would just run down that, and you can see the slant there, kind of. That was a lot of work. That was a ton of work to build that. It was a lot of work. That's all I remember. And then everywhere that you have those ribs and everything, you have to fit everything to it. Same with the siding. You can see here, I think we made this piece so it fit on all the siding because we didn't want to put a J channel there. I don't remember why. We ended up doing that though. So these are like screen panels that I made. They're like 5 feet wide. They're pretty cool. And then you got the gate to get into the pool area. I forgot how much work there was here. This is cool. They had a lot of concrete work there too. But I didn't do any of that. I think I go down there and turn it around so you can see all these big screens and everything. We made them so that if one of the screens got wrecked, that it wouldn't be that big of a job to replace the screen or to tighten it or something like that. We can take them out, and I mean, it would probably take a couple hours, but lots of work there. Pretty cool. So let's see. Porches. Columns. Ooh, this is this is a truck that I used to have, but we never finished it. This is what we had these rims and tires for it and everything, but we never ended up finishing it. And then I sold it. It was a cool truck though. Let's see. More columns, more e-cigarette stuff, more stairways. Some kind of cabinet for whatever. There's a cherry table I made. There's Melody Ann, an 8-year-old taper. Oh, this is a cool cabinet. It's like a gun cabinet, but it was for a e-cig store. Pretty cool, with lights in it and everything. And then these doors, they slide open. Or no, maybe the middle one's open regular. Yeah, that's what it was. The middle one's open regular, but this whole panel on each side. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, these open like regular doors in the center. But this whole big panel slides all the way out to the side. Like a big... Maybe I'll bet you I have a picture of it open. That was cool. I forgot about that. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, right here. Is that cool or what? How they open up like that? That big hardware. But it's all hidden when it's closed. That is cool. Yeah, that was in the old shop before it burned. It's weird to see pictures of before it burned. Yeah, that was a cool cabinet. That was a lot of work. Okay, I think one of these pages is kind of a repeat. I can't remember, but I just want to look through them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we made what looks like a cabinet that opens like a door for a secret room above someone's garage. Location, I can't tell you. That's classified. Let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot about this too. At the shop, we had a way where I would back the trailer up, open the door, then close put, I don't remember if I had insulation around or whatever, because the shop was heated, and let's see what we had. Oh yeah, I had just boards screwed on the outside of the shop, I think, that I'd back right up to them, and then it looks like insulation stuff down there or something. That was when I was painting the trailer and setting it up. I think that's the one I have now. Yeah, it is. Oh, there's the old shop. Cool. Maybe we'll have to look at some of those. Yeah. It was a mess. I don't want to look at it. It wasn't that bad. Oh yeah, that was cool too. Guy had a bunch of cubby holes and we made a big TV cabinet out of it. Lots of stuff. Oh, here's a... Oh, that's that same image. That library, that was cool. Let's see. I like doing this kind of stuff. It's fun. But I haven't done it forever, but taking and making little designs and stuff. There's a lot you can do. I mean, just think about it. Probably anything you could draw, you could be able to do, you know, with wood. Let's see. I think that's about it. That's about it, guys. Alright, fine. We'll check out page 1. I think it's a repeat of, like, one of the other pages, though. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, that was cool. I took an island that was just flat on the back and I made it paneled. That was also for that nurse who took care of me named Jean. That's weird how, like, you know somebody for a week, but it can leave, like, an impression on you the rest of your life. Nurses, people that take care of other people are pretty special. That's that cabinet we did for her basement. I think these are kind of repeats. Maybe not. Oh, that was kind of building that cabinet there. Oh, the sailboat. I hope I have pictures of the sailboat here. Oh, I don't. We put that sailboat in the floor. And it worked out really good. And we put those little birds in there too. Cool, guys. I think that was it. Yeah, I just wanted to share those pictures since I wanted to look at them. That was selfish. Alright, guys. I'm going to end the stream. Thanks for hanging out, and have a great day.